So, welcome to this practice called Mountain Meditation. It's a visualization practice, so we use images from the nature. There's another faculty along with mindfulness, which is creative imagination. So, settling into a comfortable position, sitting or lying down, whatever is comfortable for you. And when it comes to nature, there's a lot we can learn from the nature, from the trees, from the mountains, from the oceans. If you use a chair, it is best to use a firm, straight-backed chair rather than an armchair. So you can sit away from the back of the chair, and the spine can be self-supporting. And if you're sitting on a cushion or on the floor, it's helpful if your knees can actually touch the floor. And feel free to experiment with the height of the cushions or the stool until you feel comfortable. So if sitting, allow your back to adopt an erect and dignified posture, neither stiff nor tensed up, but comfortable. And having your feet flat on the floor with your legs uncrossed, allow your eyes to close if that feels comfortable. And if not, lower your gaze so it falls unfocused a few feet in front of you. And if you're lying down, allowing your legs to be uncrossed with your feet falling away from each other and your arms lying alongside and slightly away from your body, so that the palms can be open to the ceiling if that feels comfortable. And again, reconnecting with the breath in the lower abdomen, so gathering your awareness there. And let that be your anchor, the breath in the lower abdomen. So when the mind wanders, bringing it back to that direct sense of the breath down in the lower abdomen. So, the next stage is bringing to mind your favorite mountain. Just holding that image of your favorite mountain in front of your mind's eye. Noticing the shape of the mountain. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is. Just letting it be there in the front of your mind's eye. Perhaps you've been there. Perhaps you have fond memories associated with the mountain. So taking a good look at it. the size, the shape, the color, the landscape. And bringing that image closer to you so you can take a good look at it. And as you bring it closer and closer, you can see the mountain clearly, the tracks on the mountains, the rocks, the streams, the woods. And then gradually and gently bringing it closer and closer so you become the mountain. So imagining that mountain within you, or you sitting inside the mountain, whatever you prefer. And sitting or lying down as if you are that mountain. Grounded and rooted deep inside the earth. And at the same time rising up to the sky. So your feet, your legs and the buttocks, the pelvis, they become the base of the mountain. And your body, the torso, the belly, your chest, your back becomes the body of the mountain. Your back becomes the back of the mountain. The spine becomes the spine of the mountain, rising up. And the face becoming the face of the mountain. Shoulders and the arms, they become the slopes of the mountain. And your head, the crown, becomes the peak of the mountain. So sitting like a mountain, breathing mountain. So sitting like a mountain, breathing mountain. Awake, aware and alert. And if the mind wanders during the practice, gradually, gently bringing it back to that anchor, the breath in the belly, to that image of the mountain. Back to the sense of the body, sitting like a mountain. So the mountain remains still with the changing lights, day and night. The mountain remains where it is. The sun comes and goes. The moon with all the stars appear and they disappear. But the mountain remains. The mountain doesn't have a preference. It doesn't prefer the day to the night. The mountain is solid. With the changing day and night, with the changing light, the mountain remains. So likewise, with the changing feelings, just like your mountain, staying still, solid and grounded. So pleasant feelings arise. Comfort and discomfort. Pleasantness, unpleasantness. They come and they go, these feelings, just like the changing light. And like your mountain, remaining still, grounded and rooted. Whatever your experience, whatever your feelings are, sitting with them, breathing with them, and noticing the flux and the change. And at times you may have noticed your mountain in the presence of moon and stars in the night. And sometimes the mountain looks more beautiful in the presence of the moon and the stars. It has its own beauty in the darkness. It has its own presence in the darkness. So likewise, holding that which is uncomfortable within you, just like your mountain, it adds to your beauty, it adds to your presence. And holding that unpleasant feeling, moment by moment, breath by breath, just like your mountain. It makes you more beautiful. It makes you more humble. It makes you who you really are. So not shying away from the uncomfortableness, the unpleasantness, breathing with it, staying with it, just like your mountain. And acknowledging what is comfortable, what's good within you, what's pleasant in your experience. Savoring that too, just like your mountain that soaks the light and shines bright in the presence of the sun. Likewise, sitting with that sense of ease, pleasantness, comfort, soaking that in, savoring it, Breathing in, breathing out. Alert, awake, and aware. Sitting like a mountain. Breathing mountain. And now the next stage. Going back to the mountain. Connecting, reconnecting with your mountain. And notice how the mountain again is strong and stable and rooted with the changes in the season. So the spring comes, arrives, and it leaves. Autumn, winter, summer. All these seasons, they come and they go, bringing with them a certain weather. And yet the mountain remains as it is. It stays rooted and grounded. So likewise, human emotions, they arise like the changing season. Emotions, they come and they go. So you may notice happiness arising and fading. Sadness comes and goes. Grief, anger, frustration, anxiety, they arise. They move, they shift, they change, they appear and disappear, these emotions. And just like your mountain, watching all these emotions in a flux, in a flow, and staying grounded and rooted as best you can. And of course, the surface of the mountain changes with the different seasons. So when it's spring, the mountain is covered with life, lush green. In the winter, it's covered with snow. In the autumn, brown and dark brown, the mountain is covered with dry leaves, autumn leaves all around. The landscape is different in each season. However, deep inside the mountain is something that is unchanged. It's strong. So likewise, with changing emotions, you may notice that you may be affected, but only on the surface, deep inside you. There is still that strength and stability and rootedness and groundedness, just like your mountain. So breathing in, breathing out, noticing these emotions, feelings, changing and moving in constant, continuous flux, moment by moment. So the next stage, the peak of the mountain. So as we go back to our mountain, the image of the mountain, we notice that the peak of the mountain is not carried away by the clouds around it. The mist and the fog that surrounds the mountain, the peak doesn't vanish, it doesn't disappear, it doesn't leave the mountain. Even in the midst of thunder and lightning, the peak is always there as an integral part of the mountain. It does not leave the mountain in any circumstances, always present. So likewise, not leaving your body, staying in the body, thoughts can surround you like clouds. Interesting thoughts, trivial thoughts, colorful thoughts, frightening thoughts, scary thoughts, negative thoughts, like mist and the fog. Chaos and confusion can surround you. However, like your mountain, staying present, not leaving your body, being in the body just like your mountain, just like the peak of the mountain, staying present. And you may notice the thoughts arising, shifting and moving just like the clouds, floating through your awareness, these thoughts. And you simply, like your mountain, noticing and breathing and being, not getting carried away. By the thoughts. Sitting like a mountain, breathing mountain. And again, notice the mountain is not on its own. It's surrounded by other mountains. So you are not on your own. You are supported and surrounded by other practitioners. So just like there's a range of mountains, there's a range of practitioners. So sitting with a sense of connectedness with other practitioners. So you are not alone, just like your mountain. You're part of the landscape. And then from the peak of the mountain, you get a clear, wide perspective, a view. So likewise, when you relax into that mindful awareness, there's a sense of clarity that comes out of it, perspective, vision. So relaxing into that awareness. Breathing in, breathing out. Awake, aware and alert, and sitting like a mountain. Breathing mountain and looking at your experience from the peak. From the peak of the mountain. Moment by moment and breath by breath. And now, as we bring the practice to an end, I'd like to invite you to dissolve that image of the mountain into your heart. So, letting go of your attention on the mountain as it melts into the heart area, into the center of your chest. So saying goodbye to the mountain for now. Let it melt, let it dissolve in your heart area. And just for a few moments sitting with a sense of your experience there, sitting with awareness of whatever is present for you right now. No need to bring the practice straight to an end, just lingering your awareness there. Let your experience be your experience. And you know that your mountain is always with you now. Whatever you decide to engage in after the practice, the mountain will be with you, and especially in moments of difficulties and challenges, you can bring that mountain to the forefront again. That strength, that solidarity, that connection is always with you, right in your heart. And you can bring it to the forefront when you need it. So now gradually, gently bringing the practice to an end. Opening your eyes, making small movements of your feet, your hands, and then taking this experience into the next activity.